शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां 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 शारदे
Hari Om, we'll go and get started. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sharada Sharadamboja Vadana Vadanambuje Sarvada Sarvadasmakam Sannidhim Kriyat Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Bharati Karuna Patram Bharati Padabhushanam Bharati Padamarudam Bharati Tirtamashraye Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaraham Vivehinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vidushekara Bharatim. Om Sadguru Charanaravindaabhyam Namaha. Namaskaram all. Welcome to the 13th session of Panchadasi. Thank you all for joining. Namaskar, Mami. Please go ahead and get started.
Thank you. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Vidya Vidya Vivekena Param Samsara Varidhe Prapayatyanisham Bhaktan Tam Vidyaranyamashraye. Are you doing namaskars to Shri Devi Shardamba and to Shri Mahasannidhanam, Shri Sannidhanam, Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, the entire Guru Parampara and you all, we start today's lecture. First, we'll start with the first shloka of Panchadasi. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane. So last time we had done elaborately the 50th shloka, and so I thought we will just quickly revise that. So first we'll chant 50th and 51st shloka before we go to the 52nd. So if we can share the screen. Vikalpo nirvikalpasya savikalpasya va bhavet adyevya vyahatiranyatra anavasthatmashrayadayah idam gunakriya jati dravya sambandha vastushu samam tena swarupasya sarvametadishi itishyatam. Thank you. Can you go back? Somebody's thing is making noise, so if we can mute. All right. So the Purva Pakshin, that means the opponent, had a question. He was opposing the statement that was made by the Vedantin, the Siddhantin, about the Mahavakya. That the Mahavakya indicates the ultimate reality, which according to the Advaitin is Nirvikalpa, that is without any qualities. So the opposition was that according to him, a word cannot indicate something that has no attributes. A word will only indicate something with vikalpa, that is with attributes, with properties. So because words are there for jati, guna, kriya, sambandha, etc., etc. So if none of those things are there, then it cannot. That was what his objection was. So as we knew, we had told, it's called as Vitandavada, because he is not trying to come up with any other proposition, but he is just wanting to say that you are wrong. That's all, you know. So he doesn't have any other suggestion. So now option 1 is that this vikalpa can be, what is the base, what is the substratum? Yeah. So the substratum can be either with with property or without property. That can have vikalpa or it can be nirvikalpa. So then we went through the whole thing of number one, if it is, it is contradictory because it is without property. If the substratum is without property, then this cannot be on something that is without property. So that is not possible. So then we said that is called as vyahati dosha. So, okay, then the other possibility, the second option, the property, this vikalpa, rests in something with property. Then we said there can be 4 kinds of defects. Yeah, 4 kinds of defects. So, if we can go to the diagram, it will help us. So, the first one. So, the first one is, if this V1, that is the first vikalpa, is resting on something with another vikalpa, is vikalpa 1, that is V1, is it the same as V2 or different? So if it is the same, then V1 is resting on V1, then the father and the son are the same. It's like that, So it cannot, that cannot happen. The father and the son cannot be the same. So then what is it called? It is called as Atma Ashraya Dosha, the defect of self-dependence. Then the next one was, okay, if V2 is not the same as V1, we go to the second one. If V2 is not the same as V1, and V2, is resting on V3. And how about V3 then? Is V3 the same as V1 or not? So the one option is V3 can be equal, these can be the same as V1. Then V1 depends on V2, V2 depends on V1 because V3 is also V1. Then we said both of them Anyonya Ashraya Dosha. So that's called as defect of mutual dependence. All the time one depending on the other, neither of them can assert anything. So that also is not possible. That's called as Anyonya Ashraya Dosha. Okay. Then, all right. If V3 is not the same as V1, then we went to the third one, which is called as either Chakrika Dosha or Chakraka Dosha. In some of the books, it says Chakraka Dosha. That's called as defect of cyclic dependence. So in this, V3 is resting on V4 and V4 is the same as V1. Then V1 depends on V2, V2 depends on V3, V3 goes back to V1. So then V1 again, V2. So the whole thing becomes like a chakra, like a cyclic. So then that is called as cyclic dependence. So that is also not possible. Then, okay, so in order to avoid this chakrika dosha, we just, for argument's sake only, this is all only for argument's sake, because it doesn't make any sense at all. But this helps us later on to understand about the world. And that's the reason why Vidyaranya Swami has brought this as though it is an opponent who is asking like this, because he wants to let us know that he's leading us into a bigger problem, which he will then talk to us in the next shlokam. So we said V4 is resting on V5, V5 is resting on V6, V6 on V7. It just goes on and on and on. So that is called as, it can never end. So it's called as anavastha, never ending, endless chain dosha, or defect of, we say, regress ad infinitum or endless chain. Yeah? So it just goes on and on. So all this is nothing but one word was given, Ushtra Lagudanyaya. That is, the camel was carrying the stick, and you take the stick that the camel itself is carrying, and then you hit the camel with that same stick. So here also, the same logic that he used is used by the Vedantin to give him back that this cannot happen. So in other words, what is the conclusion then? We have to have some conclusion. So what is the conclusion? Then in that case, then we come to the 51st idam gunakriya, that one we just now chanted. So idam gunakriya, idam, not only is this problem pertaining to this one with, whether the Mahavakya is talking about attributeless or with attribute. It's not just simple, that's not the whole thing. Yeah. So he says this problem of accepting, or establishing the reality of this vikalpa of the attributeless Brahman. So whatever we want to say, if we are trying to establish that theory, why are we trying to do this? Because it is impossible to determine its locus. You don't know where does it rest. How does it appear to be there? What is the basis of the whole thing? Because the same thing, guna, kriya, jati, dravya, sambandha, these are all the attributes of all the things in the world. The world which is full of duality, all the objects of the world have got one of these, either guna, some quality, you can say, or some relationship, some action, something. So all the things that we can think of, we know of in this world have got this. Then in all of them, the same question arises. Where, if we take the guna, where does the guna reside? How does it start? Then where does it reside? You cannot say anything. There is no basis of this. And that's the reason we keep on talking about, this whole world is mithya. Because actually there is no substance to it. Like when we say we were all dreaming in the night, the dream looked so real. All the happenings of the dream, we could feel. We all know that. People wake up actually sweating because they were so scared. Or people wake up shouting because they were so scared. Or people wake up laughing because there was something nice happening in the dream, very rarely though. So then we see that is happening. And at that time, it looks so real. 100% you feel that you are in that. Isn't it? During the dream, somebody were to say that it is baseless. All the things, that lion that you are seeing, man, is nothing but your own imagination. Yeah, you can say like that, but what I am going through, only I know. Don't we say like that? It is exactly the same thing. When we are all now, hopefully, we are all awake, and whatever we are seeing looks so real. Everything happening looks so real. As we grow older and older, we find, you look back and you say, was it really real? Did I do that? Was I in that place? Did it really happen? So when you think of that, you can really go deep into it, and then it has a lot of analogy. You can always understand it. So that is what here it is beautifully told, that not only are we talking about the reality of the ultimate reality, what is it when we are trying to say? When we look at the world also, it is very clear that none of it has any basis. You cannot pinpoint as to where it started, how it is, on what is it based, just like the dream things. So, in other words, you cannot accept any guna, any action, any kriya, any dravya, any sambandha, etc., etc. So, if something has so this is a logical problem. Last time we ended with that. If this is a logical problem, then its actual existence has to be doubted. Yeah? When you cannot logically explain anything, then it becomes like a factual problem. Yeah. So, therefore, you have the experience that you see everything, but you cannot accept the reality of it logically. We said that then what do? Is that really real? Is the whole world really real? That brings us to a big question. That's what we were talking about at the end of last time. Therefore, because of this reason, that's what it said in the 51st verse. That means because of the reality of whatever you seek cannot be established, like guna, kriya, jati, dravya, etc., etc. Tena karanena, because of that reason, yeah, then what happens? All the things in the world are riddled with logical defects. Okay, so, and they have to be considered. What did he say at the end? Swarupasya sarvametad iti ishyatam. That means all these guna, etc., do not belong to the ultimate reality, which is the truth, but they all belong to this world only. Okay, they do not belong in the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality, that is that Brahman, has nothing to do with the world. That means all that do not pertain to the ultimate reality. So this confounding nature is what is the world made up of. Okay, so that's why we are able to say very confidently, a Vedantin says, Jagat Mithya, right? So Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. You can immediately say it is nothing that is actually there. It is only an appearance, right? So it is a Mithya. So false is that which is seen but does not stand the test of reality. Yeah, it is seen. We all can see it. But when you start understanding what is the basis of it, it does not stand any reality. All those doshas will come to the same thing. For this also, we can go through that. So it is the nature of the world to be indescribable, mind-boggling. I don't know, you can use so many words. Yeah. So, tena, because of this reason, Swaswarupasya, Jagataha Swarupasya. This is the nature of the world. That's what Vidyaranya Swami said. We always say Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. So it looks unreasonable without any reason. But that's the way the whole world is made. We all are wondering, why did Lord make this world like this? If it is all Mithya, then why are we in it? Think about it. Why are we in it? We are all enjoying it. Okay? We are all thinking that this is very, very real and we are all enjoying it. Why do we go to those horrible movies? We go there because I have paid $15. I just sit through it. Complaining, complaining. Yeah. Everybody, whoever comes and asks me, which movie? I went to that movie. How was it? Ayyo, don't ask me. It was horrible. So did you come out after 10 minutes, mommy? Why should I? I had paid $15. So I just want all that horrible things, whatever was there. And I keep complaining and I get pleasure out of complaining. This is how we are all living in this world. Yeah. So as long as we are enjoying it, it's going to continue. The moment we know, hey, this is not what I want, we can get realized. All of us now know what is the truth. You and I know. Yeah. So this is the whole beauty of this world. Okay. So first, no, this is the whole, how the Advaita was, how the Advaitin, how did he explain? First, he showed the very concept of property, etc. Do not have any logical basis. By taking that question of the Purva Pakshin for that particular thing, slowly he started with that. And then he said, though not logical, but it is experienced, definitely. The whole world is experienced. Then the property belongs to the world and it does not belong to the reality. Okay. So then what do you want to say? What does he want to say? Let us see the 52nd verse. I don't know, last time I think we chanted it and we just touched upon the meaning, but we'll do it elaborately this time. 52nd verse. Idam, no, sorry, Vikalpa. Vikalpa tad abhavabhyam asamsprishtatma vastuni vikalpa tad abhavabhyam asamsprishtatma vastuni vikalpitatva lakshyatva sambandhadyastu kalpitaha. Vikalpitatva lakshyatva sambandhadyastu kalpitaha. Together. Vikalpa tad abhavabhyam asamsprishtatma vastuni vikalpitatva lakshyatva sambandhadyastu kalpitaha. So the last word in this first line, yeah, you can take out. Atma vastuni, in the reality, Atma vastu is the reality. In that reality, that self, Brahman, whatever you want to call, asamsprishta, that self is untouched by everything. Untouched. The self, the Brahman, is untouched by anything that's happening. Okay. Vikalpa tad abhavabhyam. Now, this is a bombshell. So, it is free from vikalpa's presence and absence. So, meaning, the ultimate reality is not with vikalpa, not with any properties, nor without vikalpa. Ayo, what happened? You are now changing. You started with something, mommy. Are you getting too old? You are now, opposite you are saying. Okay. So now what is happening? So this is like you have to really think about what he's trying to say. So he says, you cannot say that the ultimate reality is with vikalpa or without vikalpa. So you cannot say that it is savikalpa, nor can you say that it is nirvikalpa. In the earlier verse, it was said that the vikalpa was pertaining to the world, right? So the ultimate reality is nirvikalpa. That's what we said in the previous verse. But now we are saying, actually saying, it is neither savikalpa nor nirvikalpa. That means it cannot be touched by either this or that. Now, why? Actually, was that statement right or this statement right? Question will come. I hope you're all understanding the question. Yeah. So, is that statement right or this statement right? First, you said that ultimate reality is not savikalpa. Yeah. So, it is nirvikalpa. But now you are saying it is neither savikalpa with properties, nor is it without properties, nor nirvikalpa. What is this? So both are right. Now, what do you mean by both are right? How can both be right? Yeah. So the statement that the ultimate reality is free of vikalpa and nirvikalpa, and it is nirvikalpa, is partially right. Okay, is, we can say, lesser right. Yeah, what kind of a word is that? Yeah, so it is lesser right. Yeah, and now the statement that was made that the ultimate reality is not even nirvikalpa is a greater right. How? Okay, now with respect to vikalpa, we say that the ultimate reality is nirvikalpa. Okay, but if you establish vikalpa itself is only imaginary, is only false, then it is an illusion. Then what is the point in saying that it is nirvikalpa? Now, if we take an example, we'll understand. What are you talking about? Now, see, don't you know any other example than snake and rope? No, we don't know any other example. Okay, so we all know snake and rope example. Yeah, so someone sees the snake on the rope. And then now he is worried that the snake has bitten him. And he says, my poison is now rising in my body. I'm going to die. So a wise person comes and says, hey, no, it was not a snake. It is only a rope. And so if it were a real snake, yes, it will have the poison. A snake will have poison, but you are not bitten by a snake, but the rope has pricked you or whatever. So the rope does not have poison. Okay. So the snake has poison. The rope is free of poison. Please note it carefully. The rope is free of poison. Therefore, even though the statement that the rope is free of poison, is it true? Yes, it is true, but not absolutely. Why would you say the rope is free of poison? The rope never had any poison. The rope was never a snake. This man he didn't understand. When under illusion, he thought that it was a snake. At that time, for him to come out of that fear, he is told by the guru, hey, rope doesn't have poison. Otherwise, it looks so ridiculous for us to say, without any background, to say the rope does not have a poison. Even a baby knows that. Now, do you get the point? Yeah, I hope you all get the point from this. Yeah. So when we say the rope does not have poison, it is in respect to the snake which has poison. And the rope was taken to be the snake. And hence this was told like that. But when that is not there, it looks ridiculous. Yeah. Similarly, when you accept the world to be savikalpa, and so the reality is not savikalpa, when we say, oh, it is not savikalpa, when we say like that, the reality is not savikalpa, it is nirvikalpa. With respect to what? You get it? So it is the same as saying that rope is free of poison. Okay, it is exactly like that. So that is not incorrect, but it is only partially correct at that level. Once you understand that reality has nothing to do with the world. The world is not resting on the reality. It is all in my mind. It's all an illusion. Yeah. So that's why you cannot define God. When Gurudev used to say, to define God is to defile God. Right? So what is the meaning? So, vikalpa tad abhavabhyam asamsprishta atmavastuni. So this is one step higher. First step is that the world is full of vikalpa, full of properties. Next, that Brahman is free of all vikalpas. The reality Brahman is free of all vikalpas. Then if you ask, are those vikalpas really real? So then if they are real, then all those doshas will come. Remember, just now, otherwise I'll go back to that. If you don't understand, you know, mommy, we understood, everybody will say. Please don't go back to that. Yeah. So then when the vikalpa itself is false, then why do you say that Brahman is nirvikalpa? Okay. So that is highest reality. With respect to savikalpa jagat, we say that Brahman is nirvikalpa. Yeah. But when you accept vikalpa itself is false, then we don't say that it is nirvikalpa. Yeah. We say that it is beyond vikalpa and savikalpa and nirvikalpa. It's neither savikalpa nor nirvikalpa. So here vikalpa means savikalpa. Tad abhava means nirvikalpa. So vikalpa or no vikalpa, The self is untouched by both. That's what is said in this 52nd verse. Okay. So vikalpa tat abhavabhyam. Abhavabhyam means dual, two. Yeah. By vikalpa and no vikalpa, asamsprushtaha. This Brahman or this reality is untouched. Atma vastuni is this self. And in this self, vikalpitatva. Vikalpitatva. The question whether it is vikalpa or not, and also that is it has got properties or not, or the question of that lakshyatva, is it indicated by the Mahavakya through Lakshana Vritti? Through Lakshana Vritti, right? We all saw that. It's not the direct Vachyartha. You all remember? It is not direct word meaning, but it is, you have to drop. What did you drop? That Jivatva and the Ishvaratva, right? Then only it is Brahman. We established that long time ago, but I hope you all remember that. So Sambandhadhyaha, that the Brahman is related to Jagat, etc. All these are only imaginations. Okay? These are all only in our mind. That the Mahavakya indicates Brahman is true only in one way. Okay. So, but not true from the ultimate sense. So that is the answer. Yeah. So because we had done Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Bhagatyaga means part of it was dropped. Yeah. So if avidya and maya are themselves false, then we said we are dropping avidya and maya from the individual and the Ishvara. Right. So then where is the Lakshyartha? There is no Lakshyartha, etc. So only at the level of teaching, when we are trying to understand what is Brahman, at that time it comes in handy for us. Yeah. Then once we reach the Mahavakya, Tattvam Asi, once that is reached, then you go beyond all this. Yeah. There is no Jiva, there is no Ishvara, you go beyond all that, it becomes Brahman alone. So to take one to Brahman, it is useful. What does Mahavakya do? It takes us to that Brahman. Somebody has to take us. So this Mahavakya brings us up to that. And once you reach there and you get established, then you know there is no world, there is no Jiva, there is no Ishvara, it is only Brahman alone, one without a second. This is the Advaita Vedanta. Okay, so that Mahavakya through which one attains Brahman is also based on the acceptance of Jiva and Ishvara, right? Otherwise we cannot reach there. Yeah. So, and therefore we say that the Mahavakya indicates Brahman through the Lakshyartha, through Lakshana Vritti. It's true only at one level, at the level of teaching. Why did we learn all this? Because we have to reach there. In order to reach, we have to use all this. That's why we said Jiva is equal to Brahman plus Avidya. Ishvara is equal to Brahman plus Maya. And then Maya and Avidya are only not even real. So we just take it out. So then we said Tattvamasi. Yeah, Ishvara equals Jiva. Right? Did we do all that? So that was said only for us to come to this Mahavakya Tattvamasi. Okay. So at the ultimate level, Brahman is not the object of the indication of Brahma, of that Mahavakya. Okay. Afterwards, once you reach there, none of this. So at the level of teaching, we say, when somebody has seen the snake, what do we tell them? The snake actually was only superimposed on the rope. Does that sound right? That's what we say, that the rope is the substratum for the snake. What you saw was the snake, the illusion of the snake. Isn't it? Was there an illusion actually? No, the illusion was in his mind. Yeah, There was no, I didn't see the snake, but that person saw the snake. There was no snake at any time. At no time did the rope get contaminated with snake, with the poison. But we explained to him saying, hey, don't worry. That snake had that substratum of that. Its basis was only rope. Yeah. So there is no snake actually. Similarly, here we say Brahman is the substratum for Jiva and Ishvara. Yeah. For us to understand. But once you realize there is no Jiva, there is no Ishvara, everything becomes Brahman alone. Okay, everything becomes rope alone for the person who has realized that there is no snake. Okay, so verse number 50, with all those logical things, was called as logical bomb. Yeah, and then verse number 52 that just now we talked about is something mind-boggling bomb. Yeah? Because we didn't even think of that before. We thought Mahavakya, yeah, it is, then we say that Brahman is Nirvikalpa. He says, no, it is not Nirvikalpa. We cannot say it is Nirvikalpa. It's not Nirvikalpa because. So now he has given all the logic behind this. So this Vikalpitattva, that's what was said in the shlokam, Vikalpitattva, that it is Nirvikalpa, is indicated by the Lakshyartha of the Mahavakya. And that is only a superimposition. Okay, Kalpitaha. Kalpitaha means they have been superimposed. So, therefore, to say that the self is indicated by Mahavakya is only partially right. Yeah? But to say that the Mahavakya is, that the self is indicated by the Mahavakya, it is far better than to say that the self is not indicated by Mahavakya. Okay, please remember that. Okay, from now on, don't say, no. Mahavakya does not indicate that. No, it does indicate for people to reach up to that. Yeah, but once you reach there, then it is not needed. Okay, so like to say that the self is Nirvikalpa is better than to say that it is Savikalpa. Yeah, so we have to know the gradations. Okay, so the Mahavakya indicates the reality is a better statement than the statement that the Mahavakya does not indicate the reality, supreme reality. Okay, so of course it is not a valid statement. It is not fully valid. Yeah, and it gives credence both to Jiva and Ishvara, which are only illusion. Okay, so we are dropping a part of Ishvara, and part of Jiva to arrive at that Mahavakya. Remember, Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Yeah, so Vikalpitattva and Lakshyatva are both Kalpitaha, are only superimposed. That's what this author is telling us. So Mahavakya indicates the reality is true. Please, again and again, please remember that. Otherwise, we'll all go to the next step and then start talking like big Vedantins. No, at our level, it is still true. Okay, so now it is like this. One more example. When we say a door to a building, the door to a building is a part of the building. Yeah, but the door is the gateway to outside space. Even though it is a part of the building, it is the gateway through which you can go to the outside space. Okay? Similarly, Mahavakya is like a door. Okay, it is a part of the illusion because we are accepting Jiva and Ishvara, but it takes you out of the illusion once you reach there. Does that make it more clear? I hope so. Yeah. So Mahavakya is like a door. Yeah. So it is. It takes us beyond that. So it is through Mahavakya only that we come to understand this ultimate reality. Okay. So, and when we come to the ultimate reality, the whole world becomes falsified. At that time, we understand that this whole world, like once the dreamer becomes the waker, time, when you are dreaming, how the dream looks so real, and in that the guru comes and says, but we don't believe whatever the guru says, because he is also a part of the dream. Yeah. So when you wake up, then what happens? Oh my God, everything was only just my own imagination. Exactly like that. Okay. So through the Mahavakya, that we come to the ultimate reality. And when we come to the ultimate reality, the entire Jagat is falsified, and the Jiva is falsified, Ishvara is falsified, and then there is no more. Can you say Mahavakya indicates the ultimate reality, because there is no Ishvara, there is no Jiva at that time. You merge with the Brahman, one and alone. Yeah. So the Mahavakya indicates the ultimate reality while you are in illusion. Yeah? When we are in illusion. But when you wake up from the illusion, Mahavakya no more means the ultimate reality through the Lakshana Vritti. Yeah, because it is Bhagatyaga. Through that only we have known this. And Lakshyatva, also Kalpita. All of these are imagined according to that Swamiji. So this is called as Appavada. In Vedanta, this is another technical word. Whatever you have built so far, you dismantle. You know how the children, with all those Lego pieces, they make the whole thing, and it takes so many days for them to make something. And then without any remorse, they will just come and give one kick. And you go, my God, you took so long to make it. I could at least have taken a picture. We all, as mothers, we say like that. But you know how they don't have any attachment. Just like that. This whole Mahavakya was created all this time. And I've been talking about this for 1 year. He said today, 13th lecture. So we have done for 1 year. And now I'm saying, no, that is not right. Then why did you talk about this? Yeah. Because we have to come to this to go to that. Yeah. We have to come to the door to go out. Why did you have to bring me to the door? You cannot ask. Because only through the door you can go out. Yeah. So this is a very, very difficult portion to understand. Okay. So don't start explaining to everybody just like that, because people will not understand. You need all this building to come to this state, and then you give this medicine. So that's what he has done. He's so smart that he has built all these things, brought us to this, and told how Mahavakya gives us the ultimate reality. And then now he's saying, Arey, there is nothing like that. It is beyond everything. If he had said that in the beginning, we could not have understood. Okay. So we are ever indebted to all these great Mahapurushas who have given us this beautiful, nowhere else in the world can you find scriptures like that, which says that what I have said so far is all false. Who will say like that? You tell me. Any one scripture which will say like that. We should all be so thankful, so grateful, so happy to be born in this, and then to be able to understand all this. No, they have made it so clear to us. Otherwise, we would not have understood. Yeah. So this is the whole beauty of up to this. We have now done all this and then now broken the whole castle. Yeah. And so this is called as I said, Appavada, or because we are dismantling the whole thing. So all that Vikalpitatva, Lakshyatva, Sambandha we didn't talk. What is the Sambandha that they are talking about? So how did we define Brahman long time ago? We defined it. We said that Brahman is the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana of the Jagat. That's what we defined. Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. Nimitta means the efficient cause. Efficient means the intelligent. Like in a potter, when the potter makes the pot, potter is the efficient cause. He is the intelligent one who is making the pot, right? The potter makes the pot with the mud. Here we said that Brahman is the Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana. That means he is the material cause and he is the intelligent cause. From himself, he has made the entire world. That's what we had said. Okay, so Brahman with Maya becomes the efficient cause, material and efficient and material cause. That's why we brought in the concept of Ishvara, right? So in this way, we related the Brahman to the world, and now Shankara, our Vidyaranya Swami says, all this is kalpitaha. We all have imagined all this. Then what is not kalpita? Yeah. So it is only the pure reality. Yeah. And you cannot say it is nameless or formless. Because when you say nameless, with regard to name, it becomes nameless. Yeah. In the land of sun, somebody says, oh, have you seen flashlight? If you are just imagine you are living in the sun, and suppose don't worry about the heat and all that. Somebody says, have you seen flashlight? What? They don't even know what light means. Don't say they don't know darkness. That is one thing we all know. But even light, they don't know. Light you can say only when you compare it with dark. Yeah. The same way here, there is nothing like that. And in the pure reality, you cannot say nameless, because name doesn't make any sense. Form doesn't make any sense. That is why you cannot define Brahman. Whatever you say becomes an impediment. Okay. So the highest definition, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad only says, neti, neti, neti. Means what? Na iti. Not this, not this, not this. That's all you can say. There is nothing that you can positively say it is. It is. Yeah. So this is the beautiful portion. So in this way, he is now concluding this whole section. Okay. So it is just beautiful, because after having explained the entire Vedantic thought, yeah, up to this in this chapter, what has he done so far? Please try to remember. Starting from Brahman, he went to Maya. What is Maya? Then from Maya to individual, avidya. What is avidya? Then what is jiva? What is Ishvara? What are the various states of jiva? Jiva, waker, dreamer, etc., etc. I hope you all remember we had done all that. And then what are the various names for that? The same way with Ishvara. We said the Ishvara, various states of Ishvara. Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, Virata. Remember all those. So different states of the Ishvara. Finally explaining what is Panchakosha Viveka. And then what is Mahavakya. He came up to that. Right? And all the coming to the understanding of what is the real nature, and then purposely bringing in the objection as though somebody else is making an objection, because that becomes the basis for us to understand what actually Mahavakya is. Okay. Having done all that, the final answer of the Mahavakya is that it indicates the ultimate truth as Nirvikalpa, and by indicating the ultimate to be Nirvikalpa, what happens? It removes itself. There is no Mahavakya also. There is no Mahavakya once you reach Mahavakya. Once you reach the door, you go out, there is no door there. Yeah? You have gone beyond Mahavakya. So having done, so like how you say, Gurudev also, when we first heard him in Kenopanishad, he had said this. So there is a small moon, like second day or first day after new moon. Only there will be one small little line. That's all, a curved line. You can't see. Especially as you grow older, even bright ones you can't see. What to talk of this line of a, a little bit of a moon. So the youngster wants to show the grandpa, Grandpa, did you see the moon? Grandpa says, what? There is no moon. He says, oh, you see it's so beautiful, Grandpa. And then he says, where is it? Then the little boy says, you look at the tree. Do you see? Yeah, the tree I see. Do you see that branch with the flower? Yes, I see. And then when you go through the space in between those two flowers, Grandpa, keep going. As I'm showing this finger, follow that. And then go through that hole in that tree. And then you will reach it. Now I see. Yeah. So neither the moon was in the grandpa's hand, nor was it in the grandpa's finger, nor was it in the branch of the tree, nor was it in the flower. Everything has to go beyond. And then you look in that direction and the grandpa sees the moon. What happened to all those Mahavakyas and everything you explained? That was like a pointer. Yeah. So this is a beautiful, beautiful thing that now he has explained. So similarly, the Mahavakya tells us the truth of Nirvikalpa and then helps us to drop even everything, the Savikalpa, and also by itself, everything is dropped. So it makes you understand how you can drop the Ishvaratva of Ishvara, the Jivatva of Jiva. So the purpose of Mahavakya is to indicate by dropping. Everything is dropped. So, and leaving you with the ultimate truth, which you already are. To begin with, we are all Amritasya Putraha. That's what we are called as. Means we are all immortal. But we have thought ourselves to be this mortal because we have put ourselves in a different plane. We didn't know. So in this way, building up the whole beautiful thought of that reality of the process, now he says, to come to the reality, what should be done? Yeah. So this is a beautiful portion. So we have to now go to the 53rd shloka. How can we realize this truth? Or how can we realize this self? So 53. Itham vakyaisthadarthanu sandhanam shravanam bhavet. Itham vakyaisthadarthanu sandhanam shravanam bhavet. Yuktya sambhavitatvanu sandhanam mananantu tat. Yuktya sambhavitastvanu sandhanam mananantu tat. Together. Itham vakyaisthadarthanu sandhanam shravanam bhavet. Yuktya sambhavitatvanu sandhanam mananantu tat. Actually, we shouldn't stop like that in the middle. Is itham vakyais tad artha anusandhanam. But we are stopping at anu for just for easiness sake. That's all. Okay. So itham means in this way. Vakyaihi, great Mahavakyas, through the Mahavakyas, tad artha anusandhanam. Anusandhanam means comprehension. The meaning of the Mahavakyas, comprehending, understanding clearly, logically. The comprehension of the meaning of Mahavakyas in this way, whatever we have done so far, this is called as Shravanam. Okay. Whatever we have done so far, this is called as Shravanam. Okay. Now, what all have we done? Through Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Remember, we have removed and then we have come to Ishvara plus Maya, Jiva plus Avidya They both are same. When you take out avidya and maya, you become that Brahman alone. What is left is Brahman alone. So in the verse 44, Jagato yad upadanam mayam adaya tamasim, that's what it said. Nimittam shuddha sattvam tvam uchyate brahma tadgira. So from the 44th shloka to 48th shloka, the methodology of Bhagatyaga Lakshana, whereby you came to the meaning of the identity of Jiva and Ishvara, were all explained. Okay, 44 to 48. So coming to the meaning of Mahavakya, as I am the ultimate reality, up to this, it is called as Shravanam. Now you have come to, after now understanding what Mahavakya stands for, you have done Shravanam. Yeah. So Shravana, we always think hearing, right? But hearing what? Yeah? So hearing, what is this? This Shravana is to understand the meaning of Mahavakya. Until you understand the Mahavakya's meaning, we have not done Shravana. Okay. So by Vedanta Shravana, according to Vedanta, until you come to understand, you comprehend the essence of Mahavakya, what you did today. It's not Shravana if you have not done that. Only that day I missed if people say, okay, you haven't done Shravanam. Yeah. The Mahavakya, what it stands for, unless we know it, we are in this samsara. There is no end to the samsara. Once you have really comprehended, not just listening, ear only listens. Ear's job is only to listen, not to understand. But that is not Shravanam. Yeah, the intellect has to cooperate to understand. Remember, we all can hear so many things, noises are coming, but are we really hearing it? What is Shravanam? Yeah, so somebody goes to the Vedanta class, comes back and says, I heard Vedanta. What did you hear? Oh, what did you hear? Then, I heard Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna. So Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Shatka Sampatti, Mumukshutvam. I know all that. No Shravana, not done. That is what Vedanta. No, according to Vedanta, only hearing, comprehending about Mahavakya is Shravanam. Okay. So whatever up to that, you have to keep on going. Yeah. You may know so many other things. No, not there yet. Yeah. So until you comprehend the essence of Mahavakya, Vedanta Shravana is not over. So here, Shravana is not just listening. It is a technical term which indicates that you have to understand the essence of the Mahavakya, which we did today. That's why I didn't want to miss the class today. Even though I'm not there in Michigan, I just thought we should do it because the sooner we know, then Shravanam is done, at least. Yeah. Therefore, Shravana is Jiva, Brahma, Aikya, Jnanam. Means the knowledge of the identity between yourself and Brahman. So, Shravana includes the arrival at this truth through Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Through Bhagatyaga, how did we come to understand the Ishvara and Jiva and all that? So, now, the full definition of Shravanam. I'm going to say that Shravana is to arrive at the knowledge of the identity of oneself with Brahman through the Mahavakya by the process of Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana. This is the actual definition of Shravanam. So now it says Anusandhanam. Anusandhanam means to keep it in your mind always. Otherwise, what happened? We just hear evaporated. Yeah? That's not Anusandhanam. Anusandhanam is not to forget. Whatever you have heard today, you have to remember. That is called as Shravana. Yeah. So the ear is not comprehending, as I said, the intellect is comprehending, right? So intellectual hearing, if we want to call it. Yeah. So sometimes we go to Vedanta lecture. When we come back, people ask, how was excellent lecture? And then they ask, what did they talk about? Actually, I don't remember. This is very common for us. Otherwise, if at all, something about that poison in the snake. I remember that. What about poison in the snake? I don't know. All that, don't ask. Something. Yeah. So, some silly joke not connected with this. We'll remember that. Or some story that was said. All those things we'll remember. But what the actual essence of it? That Shravanam, it has to, you have to pray to God only. Yeah, only Saraswati Devi has to help us to remember what we hear. Yeah. So you have to get the central message of this Vedanta. Gurudev used to say vigilant, alert. I hope you all know. Means when you are hearing, 100% you have to be here. Then only you can remember. Yeah. So alert and vigilant hearing is called as Shravanam. Yeah. So essence of the Vedanta is Jiva Brahma Aikya, the identity between Jiva and Brahman. Yeah. So how was this arrived at? Yeah? Then you have to say through Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Bhagatyaga means, you take a part of the sentence and you drop. Jiva plus with avidya is the same as Ishvara plus Maya. Maya and avidya are both not true, they are illusions, so we take it out. So that is how we come to the identity between Jiva and Brahman. All right. Now, okay, auntie, we got it. Now we remember. We will not forget. Okay, we will not forget. The next thing is called as Mananam. Yeah, first one was Shravanam. Second one, Yuktya Sambhavitatva Anusandhanam Mananam tu tat. Yeah, so the next step, Yuktya Sambhavitatva Anusandhanam Mananam tu tat. Tat Mananam. That is called as Mananam. What is called as Mananam? Sambhavitatva Anusandhanam. Sambhavitatva, you have to make it valid. Whatever you have heard, the comprehended truth has to be now made valid for you. It is not it's not Vedanta's opinion. Yeah, there is no opinion. This is the truth and we must understand this. Yeah, so Shravana is registering the truth. Manana is totally comprehending the truth. Yeah, without any doubts. So, Sambhavitatva Anusandhanam. So, you proceed on to comprehend in such a way so that it becomes valid to you. It has to become, you have to be completely convinced about it. Otherwise, there is no change in us. Yeah, for all of us, we just hear, and it is one of the things that I know. This is not like that. This is that self-transformation. Yeah, all of you remember that. Yeah, so you can validate the truth of something only by means of intellectual understanding. Yeah, so the intellect understands only by logical reasoning. Yeah, otherwise, you cannot just go on. No, you have to believe. Yeah, I'm telling you, Tattvamasi. Feel it. What? I can't feel it. Yeah, I have to understand, madam. Yeah. So you just know the difference. Upasana is feeling. We'll come to that later. We do need that. But right now, for Mananam, what do we need? We need comprehension. We need the intellect to get convinced about this. Okay, so we'll need the feeling afterwards. Okay, so after registration of the truth, to comprehend it, you must completely understand it without any doubt. So the effort to understand whereby something becomes valid for yourself. So without any doubts, you have to understand. So we have seen what kind of doubts can arise. Know how that Purva Pakshin asked the question. So like that, so many things will come. So many doubts will come. So that was brought by Vidyaranya Swami for us to understand. These kind of doubts will come to you. When you are alone and you are trying to remember, doubts will come. So we have to annihilate them. One by one, we have to understand. Okay. For that, you need the equipment of logic. Yeah. So yuktya sambhavitatva anusandhanam mananam tu tat. This is called as mananam. Yuktya means by logic. Yeah? So that mananam involves the comprehension. What does Shravana involve? Shravana involves just registration properly. You have to register the truth first, and then you have to do mananam on that. So that is called as mananam, and first one is Shravanam. Yeah. Then continuing. So why do we need to have Shravanam? Because we do not know what is the essence of Vedanta unless we hear. Yeah? So then how do you comprehend it? So now even in registration, there is some kind of thinking involved. As I said just now, if your mind is somewhere else, you are hearing it, but it doesn't register. You have to understand it. Yeah. So it is not just hearing. Yeah. So some amount of logic is involved even in the registration. Okay. But after registering, so, by Bhagatyaga Lakshana, they are telling like this. Oh, this is called as Vedanta. And this is Tattvamasi. This is what it is telling. All this, you have to actualize it as your own personal comprehension that can come only through mananam. So, yuktya sambhavitatva anusandhanam mananam tu tat. So, first Shravanam, then comes mananam, then comes nididhyasanam. Yeah. So, we go to the next shlokam, which is 54th shlokam. Okay. About nididhyasana. Sesh, can you show? Or you don't have it? If you don't have it, don't worry.
I don't have it.
You don't have it. Okay. All right. Tabhyam sorry. Tabhyam nirvichikitserthe chetasasthapitasya yat ekatanatvametadhi nididhyasanamuchyate. Okay. So next time you will see the words so that it will make more sense. So tabhyam means by these two. What are the two we have talked about just now? We have talked about Shravanam and Mananam. Okay. So by Shravana and Manana, nirvichikse arthe. So in Shravana, you have understood the truth of Vedanta. Now in Manana, you have logically completely understood, yes, this is true. Now there is no doubt. All doubts have been dispelled. So after hearing, all doubts have been dispelled. And Shravana also doubts, some of the doubts are dispelled, but Manana, more doubts are dispelled. So in Shravana, what doubt is dispelled? We have to understand. In Shravana, the doubt pertaining to what is the truth of Vedanta. What is the central theme of Vedanta? If somebody asks, then what you can say, what is the ultimate message of Vedanta? That is taken care of. Okay. So, okay, you have that. Okay. So yeah, please show that 54th shloka if you can. This is the 54th one, the middle one. Tabhyam nirvichikitserthe chetasasthapitasya yat ekatanatvametadbhi nididhyasanamuchyate. Together. Tabhyam nirvichikitserthe chetasasthapitasya yat ekatanatvametadbhi nididhyasanamuchyate. Tabhyam, by these two, Shravana and Manana, nirvichikitse arthe. So we were talking about in Shravana, also doubt is dispelled. Manana also doubt is dispelled. What? Now you can take it off. So what doubt is dispelled during Shravana? In Shravana, the doubt pertaining to what is the central theme, what is the ultimate message of Vedanta, that is now taken. Now in Manana, what is dispelled? So in Manana, we have to understand, is this really a fact? Can I be that? How can you say, I am that Brahman? Come on, you must be kidding. We have lot of doubt about that. Yeah. So that this is a fact. Is this a fact? That is the main problem. Yeah. That is dispelled. Yeah. So doubts pertaining to the factuality of the Jiva Brahma Aikya is dispelled. And that is what is said here. By these two, the doubts are dispelled. By Shravana and Manana, all these doubts are dispelled. So please note very carefully, people usually think that only Manana removes the doubt. But we have to remember, even Shravana removes the doubt. Okay. So Shravana also is removal of doubts also. But Mananam is mainly the removal of this thing that really, is it possible? How can I ever think that I am that Brahman? It is not possible. It is just unbelievable, right? It's a mind-boggling truth. Yeah. So technically we say Pramanagata Sandeha is removed by Shravanam. Sandeha means doubt. Yeah. So Pramanagata means Pramanagata and Prameyagata, two types of doubts. So Pramana means the meaning, this is the means of knowledge. Pramana means means of knowledge. So what is the means of knowledge for liberation? Only Vedanta. Okay. One can get liberated only through Vedantic knowledge. Nowadays, people are all claiming that, other knowledges they are all based on this Vedanta only. Whether it is not a fanatical statement. Okay, all of you, please understand. It is not fanatical. That is the truth, that only Vedanta says you are that Brahman. Okay, from that, they have just adapted and people just say that's okay. So Vedanta is the Pramanam, the means of knowledge. So Vedanta becomes the means of knowledge to realize your real nature, yourself. So, but then the question arises in the mind. What does Vedanta say? What is the message of Vedanta? So what is the central purport of Vedanta? Now, this doubt pertaining to the Pramana, which is Vedanta. So this word Pramana means means of knowledge for knowing the self. When we say that the Vedanta is the means of knowledge to know the self, to know the identity between self and Brahman. That's what it is. Please remember. So Vedanta is the means of knowledge to know the identity between self and with Brahman, that they are the same. Okay. So now Pramana should lead us to give the knowledge. And what is the knowledge? Knowledge is Jiva Brahma Aikya. That is, Jiva and Brahma are one and same. So this is called as Prameya. Now, Vedanta, so we are just repeating, Vedanta is the means of knowledge. Means of knowledge means pramana. To know the identity of the self with Brahman. Identity with Brahman. Identity of the self with Brahman is the prameya, thing to be known. Yeah. So now two kinds of questions can come. One doubt is with respect to pramana, and the other one is with respect to prameya. Yeah. So what is the central message of the Vedanta? That is removed by Shravanam, because Shravanam, through Shravanam, the central message of Vedanta of Jiva Brahma Aikya is already told. We have been repeating it many, many, many times. Yeah. So now, then prameya, prameya is the Jiva Brahma Aikya. Now you have heard, I am Brahman. This we have heard. So the knowledge of the oneness of the self of Brahman, but then I cannot believe this. Nobody can believe it. So what are the questions that can come in your mind? All the possible questions. How can that be true? Number one. I don't understand this. Number two. Number three. No, it is not at all clear to me. Number four. How can we drop a part of Jiva and then one part of Ishvara, and then you say Bhagatyaga Lakshana, and then you say that Jiva and Ishvara are one and the same? Actually, I want to know, is it really right? This is another thing. All this, our pokey mind keeps on asking us. As we are trying to do Nididhyasanam, these will come. Then it is not Nididhyasanam. So first, all these have to be cleared properly. That's why we go so slowly through all these things, so that all kinds of doubts can be cleared. Again, Auntie, you already said that. Don't say like that. Somebody will have that doubt. That's why we have to repeat. Yeah? So all these doubts will be removed once you have clear understanding. Mananam removes all that. So the tabhyam, by these two, in that reality, arthe, in that supreme reality, Brahman, which is the oneness of Jiva, is Jiva and Brahma, which has become nirvichikitse. Vichikitsa means doubts. Nirvichikitsa means without any doubts. That Brahman and the Jiva are one and the same has now become clear. Not you have not done any Nididhyasanam, but as a fact, now you don't have any kind of doubts at all. Yeah. Then what do? Chetasaha sthapitasya yat. So now, which has been placed in the mind, which is now free of all doubts. It has been now it has been transferred into your mind without any other questions in your mind. Then what will be there in your mind? Ekatana. One tana. So you all know one tana, not Tamil tan. So when you say tana, oh, sambar tana. No, it's not tan. Tan, in Hindi, when we say one tune. Yeah. So one ekatan means single pointed. No doubts at all. What happens? When the mind first heard Jiva Brahma Aikya, that is the message of Vedanta, the mind went on to understand. Is it really true? Is it really true? Is it really true? That's what the doubts are about. Yeah. Then once it has understood, yes, I am that reality. Once this is now established, then what happens? There is only one flow of thought. Yeah. I am Brahman. Yes, I am Brahman. Yes, I am Brahman. Yeah. So means all the other thoughts are not there. In that stage of Shravana, after hearing, there is, in the beginning, there is doubt, but now that doubt has gone away because of your mananam. Then after that, once it has become clear, then there is only one thought, I am Brahman. Yes, correct. Then what you can do? Only that thought in your mind for Nididhyasanam. Yeah. So this is called as Nididhyasanam. So to contemplate all the time. When do you do your contemplation? No time. All the time, that's the only thought. That is called as Nididhyasanam. To contemplate ever, Anusandhanam, ever, always, is called as Nididhyasanam. Ekatanatvam, to make it as a single flow. Only one thought. So when does contemplation come? So it comes only after Shravana and Manana are successful. We hear properly. We try to remove all the doubts. There is absolutely no doubts. Aham Brahma alone. Aham Brahma asmi. There is no other question. Yeah, no doubt. So this is called as, I'm not hypnotizing myself. Remember, I have now understood. No questions come in our mind. Then it becomes Nididhyasanam. Okay. So first Nididhyasanam, it is called as, it is called contemplation. Yeah. That is called as Savikalpa Samadhi. Then comes without any Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That's the next stage. And Gurudev calls it as meditation. First is contemplation. Then comes we'll talk about this more next time when we meet. But just to give you an idea, that first comes Shravanam, then Mananam, all doubts removed. One single thought, I am Brahman alone, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. Then even that you don't know. You are merged with the Brahman, Nirvikalpa. Right? So this is the process by which one gets realized. It cannot be any more clear than this. The way Vidyaranyaji has helped us to come up to that, we cannot find anything like this anywhere. So again, again people say, oh, do we have any meditation classes? Right, first understand what it is, right? We have to know what are we trying to achieve. What, my blood pressure, will it come down if I do? People ask like that. Then, you can go and take some medication or something. Why unnecessarily waste your time like this? So yeah, everything will happen, but what is the process? Okay. So we have already, surpassed our time today. But I just wanted to come to this point so that you will know why we have taken so much of time to talk about Shravanam, Mananam, and then Nididhyasanam. We'll go over this next time when we come back. Thank you very much. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hari Om. Namaste. Ami, it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much, even for having this session while you are traveling. Just a few reminders before we conclude this session. The next Panchadasi session, it's on August 14th. We are having the Kumbhabhishekam Day celebrations of our Sharadambal temple. It's going on this weekend. Tomorrow we have Sri Sharadamba's Abhishekam at 10:30 in the morning. And in the evening, we have Pradosha Rudrabhishekam at 6 p.m. Please join us all at the temple, if possible, for these special events. Then on Panchadasi, if there are any questions that you have, please send an email to the email listed here, panchadasi@svbf.org. And we'll get those questions addressed by Mami by next session. And Another thing is all of these sessions are recorded. They are available on YouTube. We have created a playlist under SVBF North channel. So if you'd like to go back and review any of those sessions, those building blocks, that's always available. Thank you very much.
So if it is on the 14th, if Swamiji is there, then I may not be able to do it. I'll let you know.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, please let me know. And
the date. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदांबिके शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदांबिके के काल भैरवर के काली दुर्गई के वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिके मल्लिकार्जुन के செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே ஸ்ரீ சக்கரவாசினி கே சீதாராம லக்ஷ்மண சகித மாருதி சரணத்திற்கே विद्यारण्यर के विद्याशंकर के वागीश्वर के वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रमण्यर के तुंगभद्रै के ஸ்ருங்கநிவாசினி கே ஸ்ருங்கேரி புரியில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே சச்சிதானந்த சிவ அபிநவ நிருசிம்ஹ பாரதி கே ஸ்ரீ சந்திரசேகர பாரதி குரு சார்வபௌமர் கே श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदांबिक शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदांबिகை के ஸ்ருங்கேரி புரியில் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே
Namaste. Thank you.